Alright, so I'm going to walk you through doing the multi-view drawing of figure 1. Okay. You first want to start by making an isometric of figure 1 on the isometric graphing paper. Okay, and then you are going to tape that down into the top right corner of one of these yellow sheets of paper. Okay. Now, if your isometric does not look like this, okay, and if you're having trouble with the isometric, what I want you to do is I want you to stop this video, go back into the L drive, and find the folder that says, under sketching, that says isometric, and watch the video for isometric for figure 1, and that will walk you through creating this isometric sketch of figure 1. Okay. If your sketch is identical and it looks good, we're just going to go on and we're going to do a multi-view sketch of figure 1. Okay. Alright, so first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do a sketch of what this 3D image looks like from looking at it just from the front side. Okay, so that is coming in from the front, what my 3D sketch would look like in 2 dimensions looking at it from the front view. If you want to use some linking cubes to assist you, you can kind of create this object out of the linking cubes, which I've done. That way, when we're looking at the front view, I can just kind of rotate this, and I can see this is what it would look like from the front, coming in at that angle towards the front. Okay. I'm also going to use my colored pencils to help us see what surface we are looking at for the front view. So right now I'm just shading what I would see if I was looking at it just from the front side. You can see that this shaded area corresponds to what I'm looking at here for my front view. Okay. Now I'm going to use the scale of 1 inch is equal to 2 grid spaces. Okay. That way it doesn't end up being super small. Alright, and I did that for my isometric too. So you may have to look at the dimensions in your figure here if you want to keep yourself a reminder. But if we did it with the same scale here, we can just correspond it to this, because we can see 2, 4, 6. We used 6 grid spaces for a 3-inch side there. Okay, so let's start on the front view. Front view always goes in the bottom left corner. Walking around, I did see some people kind of putting it in random places. You got to always have it in the bottom left corner. Reason for that is the front view needs to line up with your top view, which needs to line up with your side view or your right view. Okay, so let's start with the front view. All right, so let's start at this bottom right. Okay, bottom right point right here, and that goes across to the bottom left. So I'm going across this figure from the bottom right to the bottom left, and that is 3 inches are 6 grid spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm using a ruler because my lines need to be neat. Okay. Now from there, let's go ahead and go from this bottom left corner up to the top left corner. All right. So from here up to the top left, and that is once again 3 inches. So that will be 6 grid spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Now from here, the top left, let's go over to this corner. Okay, so I'm going across from the top left to this corner right here, and that is 1 inch. I can look back at my original figure if I forget the dimensions, so I can look here and see it's 1, 2 grid spaces. Okay, so 2 grid spaces over. 1, 2. Alright, now I'm going to go from here down to this point. Okay, so from here down, and that's 2 grid spaces. 1, 2. Okay, from this point to this point, I'm right here right now. So from this point to this point, that's 2 grid spaces. It's 1 inch. 2 right. Okay, now I'm at this corner. Of course, coming to this corner, I'm going to go down to this corner. So from here down to here would be 2 grid spaces, 1 inch. Okay, now I'm at this corner here. I'm going to go over to this corner, so to the right, and that's 1 inch or 2 grid spaces. Okay, and see how I'm very slowly and meticulously going through and making sure I'm hitting all of these corners so that I can get the basic shape of this figure. Okay, I want to make sure I'm very accurate. From this corner, I'm right here right now. I'm going to go down to my bottom right corner. So down here, that's 1 inch or 2 grid spaces. Okay. All right, so that is my front view completed. All right, so I'm going to just shade it so I can see it corresponds, makes it a little easier for me to see. All right, and now I can move on to, and I'm gonna, it's already labeled front view, so I'm good, I don't need to label that anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and do my right view now. So I'm gonna go ahead and shade what I would be looking at it from the right. So from the right, we are coming in at this angle. This is what the right view would look like. On this paper it's a side view, but it is coming in from the right. Alright, now in my figure, okay, this is what it's 3D. If I'm looking at it from the right, that's coming in from this way, so I'm going to tilt it towards the camera so we can see it better. This is what I would see looking at it from the right view. Okay, so I would see this surface right here. I would be able to see this surface and this surface up here. Okay. Right, and the linking cubes does help me visualize this, okay? So from the right, actually, if I go from this bottom left corner right here, and I'm looking at it from just the right, it's actually going to look like a rectangle, okay? Going from here up to this top corner here, okay? And that's really where these cubes help me to visualize it. And as you do more and more of these, you get better at being able to visualize it without necessarily using like the physical cubes to help you. But until you get to the point where you can kind of see it on your own, you're going to want to be using these cubes or in objects to help you out. All right, so I'm going to go from the bottom left corner up to the top left corner, okay? Now, where I know where to begin is based on where my front view was. That's where we make those projection lines that we make sure that everything's lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and project out my figure towards my right view to make sure that all of my edges that I have from my front view are lined up with my right view. Okay? So when I do my sketch from the bottom left corner, I need to make sure it's lined up with the bottom of my front view. Okay, so we'll start right here. Okay. Now it is from bottom left corner, I'm going up to the top, and that was 3 inches. 1, 2, 3 cubes, because we did 1 cube for each inch in this figure. Okay. If I refer back to this, I can see that the height of my figure is 3 inches too. So it's 3 inches on the right side view. Okay, so I'm going up 3 inches, which would be 6 grid spaces. Okay, and we can see the top of my right view actually lines up with the top of my front view. Okay, now I am here, and I want to go over to this edge, this corner. Okay. So from the top left corner over to the top right corner of my figure, that's 2 inches. That would be 4 grid spaces. Using my straight edge, make it nice and neat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then now from this top right corner, I'm going to go down to this bottom right corner. So from top right down to bottom right, and that is 3 inches or 6 grid spaces. And then now from the bottom right to the bottom left. From there, bottom right, bottom left. Okay. And you can see that the bottom and the top of my right view are lined up with the front view. Okay, a couple edges that we need to account for. These surfaces are all on different planes. All right, they have different depths to each other. They're on different planes. We need to account for that. So these edges here would actually show up in our sketch. This edge right here, this edge right here. So we need to account for that. And each of these edges are 1 inch apart. So we actually have an edge right here that comes across, and we have an edge between my 2 purple cubes here that goes across. This allows the engineer to see that these surfaces are at different depths or on different planes. Okay? So that is my right view. All right, so lastly, I need to do my top view. Actually, I'll shade this first. so that's my right view. All right, top view. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and use my guiding lines from my front view because the top view does need to line up with my front view. All right. Guiding lines, guiding lines. That helps me make sure I'm lining everything up. Okay, so different color. I'm going to go ahead and shade the top, what I would see looking at from the top, which surfaces I would see. Alright, alright. Alright, so this is what my object would look like when I rotate it to look at it from just the top. Alright, this is my 3D figure. Looking at it from the top, this is what it's going to end up looking like. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw from this top left corner right here, or sorry, bottom left corner right here, so bottom left, and I'm going to go ahead and go all the way across to the bottom right. So from here all the way across to this edge, this corner right here. And that is 1, 2, 3 cubes across, or 3 inches. That is 6 grid spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the bottom left. This point lines up with my projection line here with my front view. And I'm going to go across 6 grid spaces. And it should line up with your front view. Okay, if it doesn't line up with your front view, you've made a mistake somewhere. Oftentimes, we've rotated our figure the wrong direction. All right, so if we're looking at it from the top view, remember we're coming in from this way. All right, so it ends up lining up like this. Okay. Now, we're going to go from this corner over to this corner, and that is 2 inches. Bottom right corner of the yellow cube to the top right corner of the yellow cube. 2 inches, so that's 4 grid spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then now I am here, or on the top right corner. I'm going to go from this corner over to top left corner, from top right corner to the top left corner. Okay. That's 3 inches, so 6 grid spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then lastly, I'm going from this point of the top view down to that point, from the top left to the bottom left. Okay, and that is 2 inches or 4 grid spaces. All right, not quite done yet, because we do see that these planes are at a different. These surfaces are at different depths or on different planes. Okay, so we can see that here, and we need to account for those edges to show that these surfaces are in different planes. Okay, each one is 1 inch apart. Okay, are 2 grid spaces. So solid line to show that these surfaces are on different planes. They're at different depths. Okay, and then I can go ahead and I'll shade my figure so I can see it better. Okay. Alright, so that is the multi-view sketch of the front view, the top view, and the right view of this 3D object. As you keep practicing these, you will get better and better at them.